Can I have one Johnson? I got this good and got this good all the time. My name is Summer Jazz Spirits Around. I may get some news on tonight. And we're gonna start with Evan Locke. You know, he was shot in his home. You know, so there was no charges will be filed or fatal police shooting. So they went in his house without knocking on the door, without any warranty. I mean, they just went in his house and just shot him in his bed. You know, so the prosecutor declined to file charges, you know, against the Memphis um, Memphis police officer who fairly shot this young man, a black man, or any other officer involved in a non-knock warranty. Now the service that led to 22-year-old, you know, man death in the early February. So this is old news, but you know they're still fighting and protesting. You know, so an officer has shot Malacca, you know, within a few seconds. You don't take but a few seconds. Entering the apartment after the prosecutor said he emerged from a couch with a handgun and raised it towards the officer. Now we saw the video. Now the police said he tried to get a gun and aim at him, and so they started shooting him. But the video don't show that too much. They show him raise up. Anybody raise up when they're sleeping, somebody in their house. You know, so the officer and other SWAT team, you know, they was there serving a warranty in a homicide investigation. You know, so after a thorough review of all the available evidence, you know, there is no significance, you know, evidence to file criminal charges. So they really have no real evidence. Didn't have no real evidence to charge him with. You know, so in this case, and according to the statement from the county attorney to state, his lawyer had released it on Wednesday. You know, so the family and friends, they mourned for Emily Locke. You know, the funeral after he was killed by the police executing a no-knock warrant. You know, so the family is protesting because they want justice. Because the cop who did it, they have not arrested him for the charges yet. You know, so I'm banning no-knock warranty. You know, I prohibit any police across the nation. You know, never enter no one home and start shooting without a warrant. You know, never let yourself, you know, into someone's home and don't identify yourself as a police, because they went in his home and they did not identify who they was. You know, jurisdiction, you know, power to make legal decision yourself and judgment over a case. So they made a decision on their own. You know, they ain't call no backup. They, you know, they did not introduce themselves. You know, they didn't say they have a warrant. They didn't say anything. They just went and assumed he was reaching for something and just started shooting. So this permanent policy will guarantee that no police will not be busting through no one door, shooting and killing no one. You know, without evidence and real proof that you have. You have to have real proof and evidence that you have the right person. You know, so I'm banning no-knock warranty. You know, all across the nation. You know, following procedures. 1, make sure you have a warrant. 2, make sure you have the right person. 3, identify yourself as a police. You know, because you can't go in no one house without a warrant. You can't go in no one house without identifying that you're a police and identify why you there. You know, so 4, make sure you have evidence and real proof. You know, you got to have the real person. Make sure you have the right person, and make sure you have evidence and real proof. You know, because their evidence wasn't significant. Because so really, they ain't even had anything to charge him with. But he is, you know, he's gone. So 5, do not let yourself in someone's house and just start shooting. You have to follow these procedures. You, you know, because we have to stop killing innocent people. You have to make sure you have a warrant when you're going somewhere, and you can't just let yourself in someone's house. You have to make sure you have the right person and make sure you have a warrant, before you enter someone's home, you know, and make sure you have evidence, you have proof, make sure you got the right person, a warrant, and you have to identify yourself that you are a police and let them know what you come there for. You can't just start shooting. You have to let them know what you there for. Because we have to stop killing the innocent. Okay, so we're gonna talk about hiring the police. Hiring police all across the nation. So I request if any police, kill an innocent person and you've been fired, you've been charged for that crime, you will not be able to work as a police in your state, and you will not be able to work all across the nation. So hiring police procedure, we will start doing a background check. We will check on your last job, to see if you have been charged for any criminal crime, you know, or you was fired. We need to check for all that, because what we're seeing now, that you jumping from state to state and the same thing is happening on your last job. So we're gonna also check for mental health, because Taylor Nicholson, we saw how the police were beating him, but he was beating him with so much anger. So we have to check for these things before we start hiring these polices. So if your report come back negative, you will not get hired as a police, and it will be on your file for when you go to the next state to apply. We have to stop killing the innocent and deal with the real criminal. So we talked about banning. I'm banning none not, weren't because they went into his home, did not announce, who they are, did not say why they was there, did not have real evidence, and someone lost their life when he was innocent. So we have to not let that, happen again, and we have to do better. We can't, you have to identify yourself when you, approach, enter someone's home. You got to make sure you got the right person, the right house, the warranty. You have to make sure you have all these things, before you enter someone's house. You got to have real proof, and you got to have evidence, because it said the evidence was significant. So they was going to automatically let him go, because the evidence that they had was significant. It was not, good enough to charge him with. You know, so so we also talk about hiring the police, since we're having a lot of difficulty. We talk about hiring. I request that any police, you know, kill, um, kill a innocent person. If you ever had been fired or charged for any criminal act, you know, you will not be able to work at the police as a police in all across the nation. We also talk about proceeding background check. Check on your last job. Check if you was fired and you were charged with anything. Check on mental health. So we talk about two of these things: banning no knock warranty and hiring police. So that's all the news I have for y'all today. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.